Prophecies by Apostle Johnson Suleman as revealed to him by God. Prophecy is the reality of the future made known today. The ability to know tomorrow from today, control it, and determine the end is only possible by God through his choice mouthpiece. A true oracle is known when his words come to pass. Prophecy is the intervention of divinity through the instrumentality of humanity to speak the mind of God.
September 17, 2016, Chelsea neighborhood, Manhattan, New York City. The residence on Saturday night was indeed a dark night at exactly 20:00 hours. An improvised explosive device exploded in New York.
We're following breaking news right now. At least 26 people injured in an explosion in New York City. Let's listen in live to a news conference.
So at approximately 8:30 this evening, officers from the 10th Precinct were on patrol, driving westbound on West 23rd Street when they witnessed a large explosion in front of 131 West 23rd Street. The officers immediately called for additional units and ambulances. The NYPD Bomb Squad and the FBI Joint Terrorist Task Force were requested to respond. As of this time, the exact cause of the explosion has not been determined. Investigation into this incident is active, and at this time, an extensive search is being conducted. As the mayor spoke, there's a ongoing situation on 27th Street right now. The area around the explosion site is being treated as a crime scene.
All right, you were just listening to a live news conference out of New York City with New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, as well as the new police commissioner there. And we just want to recap what we know, and we can roll some video as well, guys, is that there is just not enough information here to make a connection between what happened in New York City and what happened in New Jersey. Obviously, both explosions, they both seem to be of similar circumstances, less than 100 miles away from one another, but just no definitive connection just yet.
The exact cause of explosion not determined. No information to create a definite connection with previous incident in New Jersey and New York. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton and Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump had this to say.
We have to let this investigation unfold. We've been in touch with various officials, including the mayor's office in New York, to learn what they are discovering as they conduct this investigation. And I'll have more to say about it when we actually know some facts.
Facts are not known yet about what happened. Investigations are still ongoing.
I must tell you that just before I got off the plane, a bomb went off in New York, and nobody knows exactly what's going on. But boy, we are living in a time. We better get very tough, folks. We better get very, very tough. Just happened. So we'll find out, but it's a terrible thing that's going on in our world and in our country.
Nobody knows what is going on.
And nobody knows exactly what's going on. But
really? Watch this clip closely. 31st December 2015 to 1st January 2016, crossover night service in Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria, Omega Fire Ministries International. New York explosion still bound to happen was revealed by God through his oracle Apostle Johnson Suleman.
For those of us in America, New York, I saw explosion. All of these are not bad news as it were. It's so that when it happens, you will know it was said. If you can prepare for it, you can prayerfully handle it, it will be handled.
This word of prophecy was spoken 8 months and 2 weeks earlier, and exactly Friday, 29th April 2016, same venue, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria, Omega Fire Ministries International, through the same vessel, Apostle Johnson Suleman. emphasis was made about the New York incident yet to happen, and prayer was made.
I want to speak concerning America. I want to speak concerning New York. I saw something happening in New York that cleaned up. This was not just an attack, but something that was like a cleanup. An attack that came into a city and there was blood everywhere. This is New York City. And I want everyone in New York to pray, because I saw terrorists invading New York City and there was blood everywhere. I want them to pray. This is New York City. And it was a day of darkness in the whole of that city. A day of darkness. Everywhere was quiet. This is America.
The government still have their investigations ongoing to ascertain what really happened. There were no terrorist threats whatsoever before the word of prophecy and the incident. 25 persons or more injured, only one critical, and a second device found after the explosion, but it could have been worse or lives lost, but it wasn't due to prayers made.
So as we are analyzing what happened here, we are doing it against the backdrop where we have no credible and specific threat at this moment. But we do want to be very clear. The early indications, the initial indications is this was an intentional act. We're going to have a lot more to say in the coming hours as we have more detailed analysis, but we believe at this point in time this was an intentional act. I want to assure all New Yorkers that the NYPD and all other agencies are at full alert, and that our anti-terror capacity in particular is at full alert, our Critical Response Command and our other key units, our Strategic Response Group, our Emergency Services Unit, all are on alert and all are dealing with this situation and being vigilant all over the city at this point in time.
For those of us who, America, New York, I saw explosion. All of these are not bad news as it were. It's so that when it happens, you will know it was said. If you can prepare for it, you can prayerfully handle it, it will be handled. I want to speak concerning America. I want to speak concerning New York. I saw something happening in New York that cleaned up. This was not just an attack, but something that was like a cleanup. An attack that came into a city and there was blood everywhere. This is New York City. And I want everyone in New York to pray, because I saw terrorists invading New York City and there was blood everywhere. I want them to pray. This is New York City. And it was a day of darkness in the whole of that city. A day of darkness. Everywhere was quiet. This is America.
Few hours later, with investigations ongoing, the bombing in New York was confirmed to be a terrorist attack similar to the New Jersey bombing, and the suspected terrorist Ahmad Khan Rahami apprehended in the early hours of Monday, 19 September 2016.
Good evening and welcome to the BBC News at 6. This is the face of the man the FBI suspects of planting at least 3 bombs in New York and New Jersey at the weekend. He was captured this afternoon in a shootout with the police. He is 28-year-old Ahmed Khan Rahami, a naturalized US citizen who was born in Afghanistan. He's also being linked to a backpack containing at least 5 explosive devices found overnight at a train station near his hometown in New Jersey. Our North America correspondent Nick Bryan is near the scene of where the shootout and the capture took place. Nick, this only happened a short while ago. What more can you tell us?
Well, early this morning, millions of people living in the New Jersey and New York area received a text alert from the police telling them to be on the lookout for a suspect in the New York bombing and warning them that he may be armed and dangerous. Well, a little over an hour ago, in this suburban street behind me, following a shootout with the authorities, he was taken into custody. This is a suspect who police believe carried out the New York bombing, blooded and bandaged following a shootout with police, but now in custody after a dramatic manhunt. His name is Ahmed Khan Rahami, a 28-year-old naturalized US citizen who was born in Afghanistan. The police had released photos of him early this morning, after he was spotted on surveillance footage at the site of the New York bombing, and also where a second device was found just streets away. The public had been warned he was armed and dangerous.
I seen the cops shooting at the guy. From there, that was a history of a Vic. About 12 shots rung out. I guess he got him by then.
The morning started with 2 bomb squad robots investigating a suspicious package, which exploded before they could even deactivate it. It had been left near a railway station in the town of Elizabeth, New Jersey, and the blast clearly took detectives by surprise. This is the town where Ahmed Khan Rahami lives, and an investigation quickly turned into a manhunt. The FBI carried out searches at his family's business, a fried chicken restaurant where the authorities say he worked. They've been investigating possible links with a spate of attacks over the weekend. They began on Saturday morning when a pipe bomb exploded ahead of a charity run for Marines in New Jersey. Nobody was injured. That was followed on Saturday evening by an explosion in Chelsea, New York, which injured 29. A second device was found nearby. Both were shrapnel-filled pressure cookers. The same evening, 9 people were stabbed at a Minnesota shopping center by a man of Somali origin who was later shot dead by police. So-called Islamic State has claimed responsibility. And then late yesterday evening, the backpack with explosive devices was found in New Jersey. Speaking in New York, a city that only last week commemorated the attacks of 9/11, the president was defiant.
By showing those who want to do us harm that they will never beat us, by showing the entire world that as Americans we do not and never will give in to fear, that's going to be the most important ingredient in us defeating those who would carry out terrorist acts against us.
On the streets of New York, what authorities are calling the biggest security presence this city has ever seen, with 1,000 additional police officers and National Guardsmen protecting key sites. This week's security was already going to be tight, with more than 130 heads of state and government attending the United Nations General Assembly. But extra precautions are now being taken. But the police clearly believe they now have the New York bombing suspect in custody. One of the questions now, was he a lone wolf or part of a wider plot? Nick Bryant, BBC News, New Jersey.
After the arrest, as details flowed in, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio identified the incident as terrorism. "We have every reason to believe this is an act of terror," he said. "It will be an ongoing investigation and I want people to be vigilant."
This is New York City. And I want everyone in New York to pray, because I saw terrorists invading New York City.
Prophecy is not restricted to a person, place, or country. Prophecy is not a debate. Prophecy is a sure word of God. God's oracle Apostle Johnson Suleman still remains a vessel as used by God, speaking what is yet to come. When God speaks, the foolish and ignorant criticizes. The wise listens and seeks advice and solution.